Greetings, beautiful YouTube. This is Gina, and I am back with another video. I know you thought it was going to be a while, but here I am. And I'm actually writing a new book, and I'm going to be doing a series again, just like I did Escape Poverty Mindset. That really just inspired me, even though it took me 3 years to finish the series as far as the videos. The book took what, maybe 2, 3 days to write. And I remember I was actually writing it at one of the jobs I had when I was working at a front desk, and there wasn't really much work to do, and I just was working at a front desk in a someplace, and yeah, and I was like, man, I don't know what else to do. They didn't allow you to like read and stuff, so I was like, let me just write something. So yeah, and then I got that book out, and I'm just so happy that I finished that series. It just inspired me to kind of write again and do another series. So I actually am finished with the first chapter of this new book, and it's basically about spirituality and writing your book and getting over those limiting beliefs and just shifting your mindset in order to stop procrastinating and actually write a book. I've personally wrote over, well, I didn't write them all, but I've personally published over 65 books. I probably wrote about 50 of them, maybe, give or take, because some I do outsource. I have outsourced a book, maybe a few books actually. You could look up some of my pen names. Some of them I'm going to keep private because they're in different sectors like romance and stuff, and I really don't want to be, under that scope. So a little private there. But as far as my books under my name, under Argina Olivis, you can check those out, and also Argina Hall. A lot of my natural hair books were actually outsourced. The first one I wrote, though, The Beginner's Guide to Natural Hair, is actually a book I wrote, and I wrote natural hair growth secrets as well. But I actually have a ghostwriter for my natural hair books, some of them, and also for some of my other books and other genres I do outsource. So yes, if you have any questions about outsourcing or anything, that's great too. But this is more for the author who actually wants to. Well, no, then again, no, this is for the author that wants to actually write the books themselves because, um, outsourcing basically once you have the money, you just publish it and then that's it. But everybody does not have that capital. And first of all, when I first started, I didn't have the capital to do that, to outsource a book, and also it's not guaranteed. So if I was beginning, I would just start writing my own books like I did until I can get money to outsource a book. And I know you're probably thinking, what do I write the book on? And that's like the 5 things I'm going to be discussing in this video. Because the 5 chapters that I'm going to have, I'm going to be doing videos on in like a video course, kind of like Escape Poverty Mindset, where I'm like kind of giving you an overview of what each chapter is or each lesson is. So chapter 1 is basically what you have to do is stop procrastinating and overcome limiting beliefs. And you can do that by just rewriting a limiting belief. So for example, if your limiting belief is I don't have enough money to write a book, I would say in response to that is that's definitely a lie, because you can publish a book completely for free. If you're watching me right now, that means you have access to some kind of device, and you can definitely write a book. Go to Google Docs and download it and then upload it to KDP. That's a free account, so there's no reason why you wouldn't be. All you had to do is put in that energy, and time is money, yes, but you literally just have to put in the energy. So I mean, yes, you're putting that time writing the book, and that's not easy at all. But once you overcome that, you're fine. So, overcoming your limiting beliefs is really important, and we'll definitely go back into more of this, as we get into each lesson. And chapter 2 or topic 2 will be deciding on a topic. Deciding on a topic is it's easy because, well, it depends on how easily you get ideas. Like I just get ideas all the time, just at random times. I'm like, oh my goodness, I should write a book on that. Or if you come into a situation, or it just depends. Like it depends how creative your mind is. But if you just give your mind a time to rest, like what can I really write a book that's going? Like what do I have experience in? That's one of the questions you have to ask yourself is, what do you have experience in? First of all, if you're doing nonfiction, you want to have experience in that, or you can learn about it and write about it too, because there's some things you could do research on and write about it. That's what a lot of ghostwriters do. They just do research on it and write about it. But if you can take a person, a beginner, from beginning to end, I feel like you can write a book. So even on how to start an indoor garden, as you can see, I'm trying to start something. uh, that's a long learning curve, and you just got to do the research. But maybe I'll actually write a book on that one day, but I don't know. But there's just so many things you can do. Candle, you see that candle back there? I started like a small little candle. I'm starting to make candles from home, like handmade candles, and I'll eventually probably write a book on that. So I usually write books on things I have experience with, or if not, I'll outsource them. And a lot of books actually I outsource. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't even have, like, I wouldn't be able to get a beginner from beginner to end, but the people are leaving reviews and buying the book, so you can tell that obviously it's helping someone. So there's no shame in outsourcing a book. I don't want y'all thinking it's not moral, because you're still helping people. So make, as long as the book makes sense, obviously read over it. But yeah, if you're taking a person from beginning to end and helping them with the solution, then that's all you need to worry about as far as nonfiction. Now, fiction, deciding on a topic, uh, shoot, you could just look at some of the stuff that's going on today, social media, in the media, the tea, the spilling, all the stuff. Just look at like what's going on today with the music and stuff, and trying to like make things like modern and stuff like that. Like, you just got to be a little bit. You definitely have to be a creative to do fiction. Because I don't know, I don't read a lot of fiction. I never really read a lot of fiction. But I do. I usually read nonfiction. I don't know. I just was always drawn to it, like uh, stuff like that. Maybe spiritual too. Like, I have all these books over here that, yeah, a lot of them are either spiritual or about business and stuff like that. So those are the kind of books I'm into. But I've written fiction books, but I don't read a lot of fiction books. But I do watch a lot of like movies and Netflix and stuff. So I do have an imagination like that. So I'm like, okay. So deciding on a topic, that's, do you want to do fiction or nonfiction? Once you decide nonfiction or fiction, something you've done before that you can walk someone through, or you a parent, can you write a book on parenting? Can you write a book on pretty much anything, like your favorite teas? Oh, actually, I should write. I've been into tea, like any little thing that you start having a hobby about or just wanting to learn more about. You can write a book on it. Like, how about like how teas, how different teas can detoxify your body, or different health benefits of teas. Like, there's just so many topics and so many niches that you can get into. And another way to decide a topic is, if you want to go from a strategic point, you can go into the Kindle store or on Amazon or any bookstore and kind of see what are the top sellers and kind of get an idea off of that and go for there. Like, that's something I would do right now. I just kind of write books on, I think that's going to be a good idea. I mean, you can use logic and strategy by going into see what's the best sellers and kind of copying off that. I've done that in the past with other books, and it does work. Or you can kind of go by your gut and see if it sells. So I don't know. I feel like you should do both, even just publishing your first book, or getting, the more books you get out there, the more real estate you get out there, the more, sales you'll have coming in. So you got to think of it both ways. But don't let this stomp you, because this is just, just try to get the books out there, basically. You don't have to worry about which one, just decide one and keep it moving. It doesn't even matter which way you do it, but those are the ways you decide how to write a book. And chapter number 3 would be the outline. So you have this big concept. So say if I was making a book on how to make candles for beginners, I would go in and I would start from, and it's much easier when you're just beginning something too, because you're just now learning it and you can teach a beginner it. Once you've done it, so if you're used to doing something, I feel like it's harder to teach someone. I really do. I feel like it's harder to, as an experienced person that's been doing it secondhand and you embodied it, it's much harder to explain to a beginner, because you're like, oh, you should just know, but you might skip over some steps. But as a beginner, you're like, oh yeah, I remember I struggled with this. These are the questions I had, so I can definitely help this person get from A to B. So yes, outline is important. So I would go like chapter 1, where to buy candle supplies. Chapter 2, what kind of wax. Section 3, what kind of wicks. Section, like stuff like that, like how to decide on those kind of things. And it's pretty easy. The outline is the easy part. I feel like the hardest part is to stop procrastinating. That's why I want to write this book, because it's going to be basically about how to stop procrastinating, how to get rid of your limiting beliefs, and really just dive into getting started writing your book. And sometimes we just need that accountability as well. Like, I feel like YouTube definitely kept me accountable with Escape Poverty Mind, because I didn't know if I was ever going to finish it, and it was in the back of my mind all the time. But I just had this fear of like getting on YouTube, and am I even like qualified to teach this? But I know I am. I know I can do it because I've done it. So you just gotta have those beliefs in yourself and that confidence, and you're good to go. Once you got that, and you the hardest thing is just sitting down and just getting started. I promise you. Even when I started writing this new book, it took me about probably 2 weeks to get back in the rotation and start writing it. And I'm like, I'm doing this video today. I don't have time for this, because I keep doing that. Staying consistent is definitely the hardest thing. So yes, and number 4, or lesson 4, is writing. So just sitting down, writing. Once you got your outline, I feel like it's a breeze, because I still remember back then, I was like, okay, I want to write a book on escape of poverty mindset. So once I got them chapters, nonfiction is, well, once you get your chapters and you know what you're going to discuss, fiction could be easy too. You're like, okay, I want this scenario to happen. I want this scenario to happen. So we'll go more about that in the next lesson when I start, writing that too. But yeah, writing, once you got your chapters outlined, just bang it out, each chapter at a time. Even if you do 5 minutes a day, a chapter a day, just get it done. But once you got the outline and you decided on the topic, I feel like that the hardest work is done. All you got to do is write the content on it, and especially if it's something you've already done before. Now, chapter 5, self-publishing. I'm going to basically be teaching you. There's a lot of videos already on this channel on how to even like get your book from it's written to how to publish it through Google Docs, which is free. You can use Microsoft Word, any PDF, and just upload it into the Kindle store. That's just the technicalities of it, but that's the easy part, is getting it published on there. So easy. It's like too easy. So the hardest part in all this is definitely overcoming any limiting beliefs, and I'm going to teach you the exercises and stuff you can do in that, and just help people get their books out there, help artists, help authors, and it's just going to be a great time. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Let me know if you have any video requests. I feel like I'm really getting back into the self-publishing game. Of course, I have all these other passions. I got my Etsy store. I just started, about to start with the candle business. I already have like an order from one of my friends. I know this is off topic, but yes, we'll talk about this in another video. Maybe I'll even do a video on how to like make candles. Just like my hands is in a lot of pots, but I'm always going back to my first love, which is teaching through really writing. And I'm trying to get better at articulating that as far as video, because like I said, I am an introverted person, and most authors are, and most creatives are, because that's just how we are. And we're not used to it. We're not used to talking to a screen. It's kind of weird. So I'm like, I don't know. And then I'm like, you had that imposter syndrome and you get all nervous. But anyway, I'm rambling. So thank you for watching. Hopefully this helps you. But yes, those are the top 5 things you need to do today to start writing your book. Like I said, I published over 65 books. I was just looking at this little spreadsheet that I made, and I'm like, wow. And as a person that published all these books, it's still not going to, you're still going to have those beliefs that come up. So don't think, oh, I published a book, now I'm going to, you still got to work through that on a daily. You still got to get up and be like, oh, I am worthy of coming on here and sharing my experience and trying to help people and helping myself in the process. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.